Well, Galaxy Buds 3. Not the Pro, just the 3.
Now everybody scream enough respect to the X. Enough respect given.
Not something I ever thought I'd get. Not because I don't think they're good buds, but because I have the 3 Pro and I use them on a daily basis. Getting the base model of the Pro seems kind of, unnecessary. But I got a really good deal on these when I got the Ring. And for the price I paid for both of these devices, it would have been foolish to not grab up the Ring and the earbud combination. Feel free to check the Samsung website so you too can take advantage of that deal if it's something you're interested in. But I have them, and I do try to make use of all the earbuds that I have. No, here it to something, so it's pretty much grab and go. So let's take a look at what is here, compare it to the Pros, and then give it the daily rundown to see how it fares in my everyday use. Alright, here it is. Take off that, put that towards the side. Of course, there's some paperwork in the box we're not even going to take any kind of crazy look at. Find your fit. We all already know how to do that. And here are the Buds 3 Pro. Is there anything else inside the box? No. Wow, not even, I was gonna say, wow, not even a charging cable, but they gotta give you something. And sure enough, charging cable is there with paperwork, USB-C on both ends, one cable to rule them all. You can never have too many of these. All right, so here are the Buds 3. I was about to say Buds 3 Pro, but no. I got the white because my Buds 3 Pros are gray, so at least now I'll be able to tell the difference because they look very much alike. You'd be hard pressed to tell the difference if these were in someone's ear. As far as I know, the Buds 3, the main difference with these is they don't have the silicone tip, which caused much of the ire when these things were announced. They resemble Apple's AirPods so much that many of the hardcore Samsung fans were, and probably still are, totally against this color and this design. Though I have heard many say, because they don't have the soft tips, that they actually prefer the feel of these over the Pros. Similarities aside, let's take a good look at these buds and see exactly what we have here. So it is of course, the case is this new shape, not like the squared Buds cases that Samsung has had before. They went with a very AirPod-esque case, this oval shape, this more flattened oval shape. I do like the way it's a glass cover up top. You can see the buds inside when they charge. At least with the Pros, these lights turn on to let you know it is charging. I don't know if these do it. If I remember correctly, with the non-Pros, those aren't lights. It's just a painted strip. Around the back, you have the seam. You have a nice little gray area there to show you can see where it all connects. You have the power light, and that's also the light that will to tell you if it's ready to pair or not. The bottom, you have your USB-C, and you have your pairing button. Now, when you open the case, again, love that it's clear. You do have a blue and an orange indicator to let you know which bud goes in which ear. If I remember correctly, the orange is right. There we go. You see it does say R with the orange strip, so you won't be confused as to which one goes where as long as you follow that. And the blue one, blue strip, blue case is L. Very easy to figured that out. They do very much look like AirPods. Not exactly alike, but again, if you weren't staring at someone's ears, these would pass for AirPods very easily. The color, the shape, though I will note they look more like notes to me, like music notes. This way it's shaped just different enough. The stem isn't round, it's this triangular shape. Yes, this isn't an LED like on the Pros, it's just a color. So the black and white and the oval shape here of the bud really lends itself to looking like an AirPod. Samsung did not care about what people thought when it came to the design of these. We've had so many unique designs in the past. For them to go to this does kind of hurt my feelings. I always looked for them to be more unique when it came to these type of things, and this seems like a regression in my personal opinion. All right, let's sync these guys to my S24 and just go through the Wear app, see if there's any difference between these and the Pros. I'm pretty sure there'll be some overlap, but not anything too crazy with the two. Connect. Yes, please update the app. Update. Agree to all. And we are all set. Now, just like the Buds 3, the menu is pretty much the same. You see the power of the buds, the power of the case. You do have an active noise canceling option, which is odd because these don't have tips. So I'm curious to see how it handles noise canceling. But note, you don't see the transparency mode and things like that because these don't have that. These are, like I said, the base model of the Buds 3. If I open up my Buds 3 Pro, let's put it there. You saw the light. It should sync up to this. My ring. And there's the Buds 3 Pro. You do see the difference. You can control the adaptive noise canceling, auto switch to ambient sound. But there are a few little things here that differentiate the two, with not just the look of the buds and the case, but also in the Wear app itself. Not that this is a comparison video, but just because I can, I do want to compare the Buds 3 to the Buds 3 Pro. I did notice this difference I wasn't aware of until this very minute just now. Looking at the two, the Buds 3 Pro case is actually smaller than the Buds 3 case. I really thought these were just the exact same case with very similar earbuds inside, but one, had more bells and whistles, ear tips and light strips and such, but they are uniquely designed. The Buds 3 Pro case is heavier than the Buds 3. The case of the Buds 3 Pro, it just feels better quality than the Buds 3. Not saying that these feel cheap, but in comparison, they do feel cheap. There is a distinct look to each one. I really did wonder if a case for this, like I have my Armored case, would fit on something like this. Now I know such is not the case, no pun intended, as they are two very different cases for these earbuds. And now just looking at the buds themselves, aside from the obvious, the Pro have the tips and the regular don't. There's also a difference with how everything for the buds are positioned. Where they have the vents and the mics, and even the position of the stem itself is all just slightly off when you compare the two. So it's not so much it is the same at all. You really are getting a different pair of buds if you opt for the regular Buds 3 as opposed to the Buds 3 Pro. I guess this is a case of you get what you pay for, but there you go. The physical difference between the two. I wasn't aware that it was such a blatant physical difference, but now I know better, and I guess so do you if you didn't know already. So with everything set, in certain genres, these buds can sound okay. Still nowhere near the quality that one would want from them, but passable. I've heard worse, but I've also heard much better. Of course, you will need to go into your equalizer and adjust the settings, upscale the audio. But with a little fiddling with the wearable app, you can get the audio to a level where you aren't disgusted with what you're hearing. Their bass is almost non-existent, to be expected, as they are open air earbuds, but at least you can hear it. It seems to push the mids, maybe to compensate for the lack of bass that you hear, but some songs really need that. Even the front end seems to take a backseat to the mid-range with these buds. The percussions are kind of weak, and things do seem to kind of blend together a bit much, where there should be, in my opinion, better sound separation. Or maybe I'm just spoiled from all the buds that I have. These just don't do it as well. Then again, I listen to mostly in instrumental stuff, but every now and then, like here, Linkin Park, I do get some vocal work, and it's pretty much the same here too. Things just sound weak. The soundstage is lacking, whereas all the buds, you can hear the audio coming around your head. Sounds will be out here. These ones, it's all right in your ear. And it's just not because it's in-ear, open-ear earbuds. It's just the way they're tuned. Like, there's nothing to really pique your interest when playing any of these songs. Nothing catches you and makes you say, wow, that sounds really interesting in these buds. When the screams come in, when the drums come in, all that, it's just kind of bland. Nothing strikes that chord that makes your heart pump. You know, I'm listening to this in the dynamic option for the EQ, and nothing is very dynamic about it at all. It sounds almost as bad as it's balanced. Now, the audio aside, that they did tout that they have noise canceling. You can probably hear my fan going in the background right now. I use that to test how well these things can cancel noise. If it can cancel out my fan, I think they're pretty good. These could not do that. I don't know why they say they have noise canceling. If I'm being honest, there was barely any difference at all. As for noise canceling, like I tried last night with my fan, I'm outside now. A few cars going by, birds, just everyday sounds, and it does cancel out the minimum. I was hoping it was just me, but yeah, not being able to cancel out the fan noise was just one thing. Here outside, it's not doing much of anything at all. You do hear a slight reduction in the noise around you, but only so. It's nothing that's going to allow you to concentrate more if you're trying to read a book or listen to your music, whatever it might be. It's not keeping out any of the noise that you want to keep out. This engine of this vehicle right here, I hear it just fine. With the Buds 3 Pro, that would have been gone. At least most of it would have been gone. Even those, leave some room for improvement. Though the noise canceling does leave something to be desired in these buds, at least some of the other special features they have do work pretty well. For example, one of the best features of these buds is you can just talk to your music and control it via voice. For example, stop music, play music, next song, next song, previous song. So you see the voice controls work really well, and it's a unique feature to the Buds 3 and the Buds 3 Pro. So though the other feature of these buds, the noise canceling, is pretty much non-existent, having the ability to control your music with your voice is a feature that most will find very convenient. So at least there's that. Well, if this is any indicator of the battery life of the Buds 3, we're down to 49%, and it is currently 8:39. I've had these in for just over 2 hours, so we're looking at around the same kind of battery life that you get from the Buds 3 Pro. And these don't have the same kind of noise canceling or other battery intensive operations that the Buds 3 Pro have. So I'm not seeing a win in the battery life department. These will probably die before my run is done, just based on this here by itself. I'm not gonna lie, I was hoping that, for all the negatives that I'm fighting with the Buds 3, I was hoping that the battery wasn't one of them. I was hoping, well, at least they last longer than the Buds 3 Pro. So then I'd have a reason to use these over the Buds 3 Pro depending on what I'm doing. If I need, like I said, that's something that went more of the day. I could use these and just deal with the lack of excitement in the audio quality. But 49% 2 hours after the fact is an issue. Well, I'm done my AM half of my run, and as predicted, the Buds 3 died. It died at 10:55, which is pretty much an hour and a half, 4 hours and a half after I first started to use them. So like I said, about the same amount of time that I would get off of the Buds 3 Pro. So battery efficiency is not a strong suit of this line of earbuds. I was hoping that the regular Buds 3 would at least be better in that aspect, but I guess not. So, what redeeming qualities can I say about the Buds 3? For one, they're comfortable. I can't deny that they are comfortable. Most of the earbuds that don't have a tip with the plastic body that sits in your ear, I don't like them. They don't feel comfortable to me. All the earbuds I've tried, I can't wear them for more than a few minutes before I just need to take them out. These I've had in, like I said, for the past almost 5 hours now. They also charge pretty fast. This is maybe 10 minutes after I set them to charge, and already at least the right bud is at 37%. I'm not sure why they're not charging evenly with the left bud being at 5%, but eventually it did catch up, and a few minutes after they died, I had more than enough power. They also look good. Regardless of how they might sound, I think they look quite fashionable. And though the sound quality isn't the best, it's just fine for watching vids on your tablet or your phone. You won't be able to cancel out all the noise around you, but the spatial audio makes up for it by giving you a pretty immersive experience. So, the Galaxy Buds 3. They're not an earbud I would personally recommend unless you got them for a pretty good price. Personally, I paid less than $20 for mine, but like I said, it was a bundle with the Galaxy Ring. So it was something I didn't want to pass up on. Because there may come a time where I need an extra pair of earbuds, and the Buds 3 just might be the buds I have to take with me. But overall though, I think there are much better earbuds out there for the manufacturer's suggested price. Those the Buds 3 run for over $100. I do not think that they're worth that price at all for what you get. Yeah, some of the features are nice. Like I said, the voice control, I love that. They're very comfortable. I love that too. But there are other earbuds with those same features and then some. So Buds 3, for what they are, they're okay. If you can find them for a relatively cheap price, it's something you could get as a backup earbud. But if you are looking for an earbud that is the more substantial, something you actually want to use on the regular, I would stay away from the Galaxy Buds 3. So with that said, my name is NG, the Neon X, and disappointed in what the Galaxy Buds 3 have to offer. This is what I'm into.